Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with the weekly news and review for February 2nd, 2020. And we have a wild, crazy week of news. A lot of stuff going on, and I always say there's a lot of stuff going on, but this time it's a lot of crazy stuff going on. But we're going to get right into it. Coming up. First thing I want to talk about is if you go to ShowZ's site, at the top of the page, it says that the shipping company will be off work until February 9th due to the coronavirus. And the thing is that the government is working to contain it. I think this has more to do with just keeping people from going out in public and spreading it amongst the country there. So I'm perfectly fine with it. I can wait longer for my packages. I think they do need to contain this. It's a serious situation. They do need to control it. So I'm perfectly fine, and I'm glad that they were very upfront, and a TF Direct, and I think a couple of other ones over there, the distributors over there, have put similar type messages up. Gonna wait a little bit longer. No problems with me about that. So this has been a crazy week already, so let's just talk about what else crazy stuff I'm seeing out there. So it turns out there's all these little pills, ecstasy form, that look like stuff for kids. And I just really found this out. I didn't even know that this was going on, but I just found this out. And so what caught my attention is that one of the common ones floating around now is in the form of Transformer symbols. So, like, it looks like candy, and it's not. It's ecstasy. It's an illegal drug, and it could actually cause harm and kills so many people every year due to overdose. And now they're making it look like kids' candy. That is scary as a parent. I'm not gonna lie. So let's go ahead and talk about some fun stuff now. We started off on a bad foot there, I know. But Magnus Deacon, or Magnus's Loot Crate, had sent me over this picture of some RCs. Now, he doesn't know exactly who's making this yet. He found this picture, and this kind of gets me excited. I really do like the fact that we really don't have Masterpiece FEMbots so much. So this would be another take on the RC, but this would be really cool. What the transformation would look like on this, how it would, I mean, where is it all going? It's a small backpack, but I think this does look really good. And I still personally don't feel like there is a great version of RC yet, and we still haven't gotten Firebird. So a lot of things we see this week, we've seen before, and there's more pictures. I want to tell you that when you see a lot of pictures floating around, like surfacing over and over and over, especially when they start getting painted, unlike this guy, that is a sign that it's really getting close to production and that we should be seeing it soon. So another picture of this one showing articulation, a better view. If this picture's already been floating around and I just didn't see it till this week, then I guess I missed it, but I really like the way this guy looks with the articulation and from the side, and I'm liking this more and more every time I see this Transform Element version of Mirage. So more pictures of Fans Hobbies Athena popping up, which is cool. That figure was slated to come out in late April, early May, so I'm wondering if that thing is going to show up any sooner. That would be interesting. It is a cool looking design. It doesn't look like it's a ridiculously hard transformation, and it does look pretty good in both modes, so that's making me think I'm going to have to pick her up. And of course this week we got pictures of their Deathsaurus. Now, I don't think it's actually going to be that big. I don't think it's going to be big enough to go up against Star Saber, but I don't have the exact dimensions yet. So before I really go officially on record with that, I want to get the dimensions, but I know the Star Sabers that are coming out are pretty big. But I think this does look really good. It looks cool. I think it is a stylized take on the character, and just like the Iron Trans version of the Star Saber, I'm okay with a stylized look, especially since I'm just not used to seeing this in any sort of media whatsoever, and I think it looks really cool. I'm probably going to have to pick it up. And that dragon does look a bit odd, but hey, I don't know if that's what it's supposed to look like or not, but it's pretty interesting. I don't think those little wings are going to help it much, though. Speaking of the Iron Trans Star Saber, and this is again what I'm talking about when you start seeing stuff showing up over and over in all these different pictures, that it's getting really close. And this is, of course, the prototype model, but you could see it compared to other versions. So on the left you have the G1, in the middle you have the Takara Masterpiece, and on the right you have the Iron Trans versions. You could choose for yourself which one you think looks better, which one would you rather have if you were interested in this character at all, which one would you rather have on your shelf. And then their little bitty one is another Takara one that they made. Now here's the back view, and of course we're flipping around. So the left is Iron Trans, middle is Masterpiece Takara, right is the G1, and I think it looks good, man. It cleans up really well, and it's definitely got that stylized look to it, but it works. I just think it works for this character. And yeah, I feel like I'm talking about him every week, but we get new pictures every week. I don't know, a couple times a week, actually. So Pop Culture is going to be making a new Optimus Prime. So they've made this statue already, and this statue is about 12 inches tall. They're going to make one twice the size. They're calling this one the PCS Collectibles Optimus Prime G1 Museum Scale Statue. And it's going to be about 24.5 inches tall, so a little over 2 inches, 2 feet, 2 feet tall. And it looks good. It's just one of those things that the statue can bring out an even more perfect tune representation, which I really don't know if there is a perfect tune because of all of the different animation changes that went on. So, but it looks good. It looks great. I mean, this is about all you can see from it. It doesn't have all of 100% of the pictures up and available even on the site yet, but it's pretty cool teaser of what's to come, and still no price yet. And speaking of Optimus Prime, Lemon Tree is doing their Optimus Prime. You know, is it supposed to be masterpiece scale? I guess. I think I like a lot of what Lemon Tree is doing. I don't know about this. This looks like something that was sort of Lego-ish. I don't know how to explain it. Constructs kind of stuff. I don't know. I was shocked because I've seen some of the things that Lemon Tree's done look great. Or, well, actually they haven't done anything yet. Some of the renders they've put out look great. This, I'm not sure about. Hey, what do you think? Put it in the comments. A couple of things going on in the Legends scene. We do have this Flame Commander, and it's going to be the Black Flame Commander, the MS-19B. And, yeah, I like the Flame Commander, the red one, the burgundy one, whatever. He looks pretty cool, and it's an interesting take on how they do the transformation, because you can get a Hot Rod and a Rodimus out of it. And I think that usually when you do the Hot Rod and Rodimus, the figure is a bit of a fail, because it really needs to be good at one and not just okay at both. But I think that one, they pull it off relatively well. So in the black deco with the purple and the black and the gray and all that and the silver, I think it looks good. So I just reviewed the Monaro EX version, and one of the comments, well, there was a lot of comments saying that it didn't have the doors on the back, but the fact that it didn't have the doors on the back makes it more G1 cartoon accurate, but not toy accurate. And so if you want toy accurate, well, you could get the doors on the back also, because they're making an upgrade kit. And so basically what you're going to get is just doors that clip on his back, and then what appears to be some other parts like the windshield, or I don't know, actually it just makes it look more G1-esque. It's pretty cool. And, you know, when I reviewed the figure, I was like, man, where's the doors on the back? That's just so quintessentially Jazz, and it didn't have it. So that was just one of the things that now, hey, you got add-on kits from third-party companies fixing it. Getting into talking about some Chug stuff, some Chug news, we have more pictures of this Generation Select C-Con set, and it looks good. It looks all right. It's slightly bigger than Combiner Wars like Superion and all of them, and so it's not huge. For the bang for the buck, for it costing $200 to $260, something $260 or something like that, it's pretty expensive for what it is. But on the other hand, if you're collecting all the Combiner Wars and you just want all of them, you're gonna have to get this one. So that's kind of how it is. And I think that Takara Time Mall is going to be putting out the box set too, so there's a couple places to get it. But it's getting harder and harder now that all the pre-orders are sold out. So the $260 might sound like a good deal when you start looking at secondary market prices. Haven't even gotten into Toy Fair yet. It's got 3 weeks to go. And here we have Earthwise figures showing up at retail. I think we got Wheeljack and we got this Ironworks showing up on store shelves, which is really cool. I can tell you right now, if I saw them on my shelf, I would have bought them and reviewed them just for fun, because it's exciting and I really like the direction Earthwise is going, and I think they look really good. And I guarantee you there are going to be some upgrade kits for these guys for sure. Probably something to do with the wings on Wheeljack. And we have Astro Train. I might be mistaken. Didn't Astro Train come out in Siege and now it's in Earthwise packaging? Is that what happened? Because I know a lot of people picked up Astro Chain and reviewed them, and I thought they had Siege packaging, but maybe I just misunderstood that. Anyway, the cool part here is having the Optimus Prime, and of course the blue hands that everyone's worried about, that his hands were off on a prototype and all that. But I think it looks pretty good. I mean, for a mainline figure, $50, the fact he gets his trailer, I mean, that's the deciding. $20 for an Optimus Prime trailer. I mean, it's not the greatest trailer in the world, but I don't think that's bad. So really, at leader class price point with what you get, I'm okay with that. But the Astro Train, it's a $30 figure. Speaking of what's popping up at retail, out of the blue, Walmarts are just getting more of the G1 reissue cassettes and Soundwaves. I didn't get the Soundwave in the picture, but wow, that was a shocker because so many of them are clearancing them out like they're done with it. Usually when they clearance them out pretty heavy like that, like close to half price or half price, that means they're done and they're moving on, yet more stock showing up, brand new, crisp packaging, looking great, but at full price. And the biggest news of the week, by far, and I mean biggest, is this Masterpiece scaled Metroplex. And this guy looks great. Now, from what I'm understanding, this is just a personal project, and that's it. They're not going to get mass produced, so some more of the information I've heard about this, not going to get, it's just a personal pride thing. Wow, that's amazing. Like, I couldn't imagine being able to accomplish this on my own, but that's great. It looks good. It looks like you took the G1 mold and just made it better, a little bit more modern, added some articulation to it. So that's just outstanding. Anyway, I wonder if he'll share the files or he'll sell the files or whatever to 3D print this, if that's how he accomplished it. But it took over a year of 3D printing to get this thing done, I think. But that's how big it is. If you look to the left, you have the Combiner Wars version or size or scale of Devastator, so you can kind of get an idea of exactly how big this is. And it transforms and it's functional and it's working. And here's what it looks like loaded up with all kinds of Masterpiece Transformers on it in their alt mode. Like, just picture how big all of these vehicles are, and yet they look tiny. They look like they're little Hot Wheels vehicles in this massive Metroplex. Just really outdid himself. Looks so much like the cartoon. It's just mind-blowing. It boggles the mind how good this is. And this is just a personal effort by someone who's obviously very, very talented. And then here we have, inside here, we got the Spike and Daniel. That's just really cool. Those little figures. That is how big this is. Just, wow. Another big topic this week is, speaking of two movies that are coming out that they're still working on, there's nowhere near in sight. Bumblebee 2 and Beast Wars. Now, some stuff about Bumblebee 2 movie is, originally they were going to call it Optimus Prime, but I think what they were going to call Optimus Prime is a different kind of concept than Bumblebee 2, so they're really going to pick up and carry on where they were with the Bumblebee movie. And so I'm okay with that. I'm fine with that. It's sort of based in the 80s, G1S, kind of. So, sounds like a lot of fun. It is, I've seen an actual date, a target date, October of 2021. I don't know, stick to that or not, but pretty cool. Now with the Beast Wars, live action Beast Wars movie, not sure how that's going to go. I mean, it can't really be live action, can it? It's going to be more all CGI. This will be interesting to see how they do it, how they go about it, and even if you're not truly like a Beast Wars fan, it'd be interesting just to see what they did, how they worked it out. And really, if it's supposed to be G1, like everyone says Beast Wars is a continuation of G1, hey, this is an opportunity to find out if that's really true. Before we get into some Star Wars talk, I'm going to point out that the new series Picard has started. I saw the first episode, I thought it was really good. And I think the second episode's out yet, I haven't seen it yet. And I really was a big fan of the Last Generation back when it was on. I enjoyed it. I kind of like the whole real world concept to it. Well, I mean, real world as you can be with science fiction and all that stuff. But anyway, looking at this, they put this show out for free in so many places. Like, you can get it in a lot of places for free. Obviously, they want to get you hooked, and then you want to pay for services to finish watching the rest of it. But I was watching YouTube, and the full first episode came on as a commercial, which I was watching for like 2 minutes thinking, okay, when's this trailer going to be over? I'll watch the rest of it or whatever. And it was a 46-minute entire full episode as a commercial on YouTube. I thought that was really strange. So Sideshow Collectibles, which is known for making all kinds of larger characters, larger than life, is making a life-size Baby Yoda. They call it the child. Of course, it's not really Yoda, baby, whatever. Anyway, cute, great. If you want one that's life-size, well, here it is. It's going to be 16.5 inches tall. And yeah, that's pretty good size for a figure, I guess you could say. But to consider it real life, that's a tiny real life being. And yeah, it would really match the show. And Star Wars actor Alan Harris dies at age 81 following lung cancer battle. This is the actor that played the notorious Bosk figure and character, and the thing is that he did pass away, and it's always sad when you lose somebody from the franchise. And he did go to a lot of shows and events because he did work on all 3 of the original Star Wars films, with his, of course, most notable role being Bosk. He also played a stormtrooper when he wasn't playing Bosk. He also loved signing all the autographs and meeting fans, really keeping Star Wars spirit alive. And with Toy Fair just a few weeks away, it seems like all the leaks have dried up. Probably 1 week before Toy Fair, more leaks will come out. But here we are with a rumor report for the Imperial Probe Droid from our friends at yakface.com. And this is exciting. I think the Imperial Probe Droid is one of the coolest things in Star Wars. And you just don't see very many of them. We had the one in the Vintage line. We had one in the Power of the Force line. And then I think we just had one. But none of them for the Black Series. So none of them going to be this big. None of them going to be this detailed. I'm really curious to see how far out they went with this Probe Droid. How awesome, how perfect it looks to the on-screen counterpart. There's also another rumor report about a Stormtrooper Commander, which is kind of interesting. It's evidently from a game, Blue Stormtrooper. I think that Stormtroopers, Clone Troopers, Army Builder stuff really sell well because people like the Army Builders. And also, I think when the Clone Wars show started, that's when all of this extra paint on Stormtroopers and clones started going crazy. And now it's just something that people look forward to having so many different variations of clones and Stormtroopers. And all of my Star Wars collector buddies have been talking about this Clone Wars Season 7 that's going to come up. A lot of people are really excited about it. But one thing I'm noticing is that there's a lot of buzz about Clone Wars figures, the Clone era ships, the Clone era droids, droid ships, all of that kind of stuff. People are excited about that, talking about that, and looking for it. And sadly, I don't think that we're going to have a whole lot of products surrounding that era coming out, even with the Clone Wars. We're going to have some, but I don't think we're going to have a lot. And I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed in having to go to the secondary market to get what they really want coming up. Let me know what you think about this week's Weekly News in Review. Anything else that happened this week that I missed? Like, subscribe. Titanium Hanger, out.